Hi, I'm Arden Compton, and I want to share with you some ideas about how I believe judging others and forgiving others are on polar opposites of a spectrum. And let's just look at these two ideas. When we judge others, and if we go back to Scripture, Jesus said, "Judge not, that ye be not judged, for with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged." That's in the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5 or 6. Actually, Matthew 7 was where he said, "Judge not." And any case, when we judge somebody else, okay, we also judge ourselves at the same time. When we judge somebody else, we put a label on them as good or bad, right or wrong, something. And at the same time, we've put a label on ourselves. We've made them into an object, and we've made ourselves into an object that is positioned in relation to them. And now we are opposing each other in some way. We are now putting a label on them. We can't put a label on somebody else without putting a label on ourselves at the simultaneously same time. Is that redundant? So think about this. If I judge somebody as bad, I've judged myself as good. They're right. I'm judging myself as, how do I judge myself if I judge somebody else as right? Maybe I just agree with them, but maybe I see myself as not as right. Or maybe they're right, but not as right as me. We always create a relationship, a position in relation to them. And rarely is it the same. Whenever we judge somebody, we've judged ourselves. Whenever we objectify somebody else, we've objectified ourselves. And then we treat people as objects. Okay? An easy example of this is pornography. When a man looks at a woman lustfully, he sees her as an object of lust. The moment he makes her an object of lust, he's made himself into an object of lust at the same time that's now pursuing her as an object of lust. And I guess they're both objects of lust, but they're both objects and they have a relationship to each other. And it's not a healthy one. It's not good. It's not seeing things correctly. He does not see her in light and truth. When we see people in light and truth, we discern their divinity. Christ said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." When we see others with a pure heart, with love, we don't see them as objects. We see them as our brothers and sisters. We see them as a fellow human being. We see them as children of God. And we're not in a position that is opposed to their position. We don't see them as above below. We see them with compassion. Now, we can judge behavior. Some people are not trustworthy. That's something we can discern and be aware of their behavior, but we can't judge why they're doing what they're doing. Everybody behaves in a way that to them seems right in some way, even though sometimes we do things that we know are wrong. Are we all guilty of that? Okay. None of us have consistently always done what we know is right. All of us have violated our own conscience somewhere along the way. None of us are guiltless. But most of the time we're trying to do what we think is right, and we're trying to behave in a way that is okay. And so why do we do what we do? And why do some people hurt people? Have I ever hurt people? I have. I never, ever, ever wanted to hurt somebody, but I am guilty of walking away from interactions where people said I hurt them. And that's unfortunate, even though I didn't mean to. So why do we behave inconsistently? Well, we all see the world through our own lens, the lens of our life experience, the way we were brought up, the family that we grew up in, the religion that we grew up in, the country that we grew up in, the neighborhood we grew up in, the schools that we attended, the media exposure that we've had, and countless other things have influenced our lens, our way of thinking, our way of being, and that has led us to the conclusion this is the way that we should be. And we behave in ways often that we don't even like. And sometimes we don't understand why we're doing what we're doing. And we have a hard time seeing ourselves clearly. let alone seeing others clearly. And there's where we need to extend some mercy. Christ said, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy." Okay, I want as much mercy as possible. All right. Christ also said, if you forgive men their trespasses, your Father in heaven will also forgive your trespasses. As we forgive, we are forgiven. As we judge, we will be judged. When we condemn others, we condemn ourselves. You can't hurt another person without hurting yourself. And it goes the other way. When you bless another person, you bless yourself. Because we're all interconnected. We're all part of a greater divine whole. We're all children of God. And there's even scriptures that refer to what they say, the body of Christ. And the hand can't say to the eye, and I'm paraphrasing, the hand can't say to the eye, "I don't need you." Or the foot can't say to the ear, "I don't need you." No, we all need each other. And if I hurt one part of my body, the whole body suffers. If I hit my thumb with a hammer, bam. Well, the point of pain is here, but all of me is affected. And so it is with the human race. What we do to another person, how we treat another person, affects all of us to some extent, and especially ourselves. And when we condemn another person, when we judge another person, when we label another person, we've labeled ourselves as less than divine, something of an object. And at that point, our behavior towards them shifts, and we feel justified in treating them as the object we've labeled them as. And that is something less than divine. Does that make sense? So when we forgive, we're letting go of judgment. My opinion, the little dictionary in my brain that I've assembled says to forgive is to let go of judgment, to let go of condemning judgment, to let go of labeling, to let go of objectifying, and to see the other person with the lens of love, the lens of compassion, a divine lens that says, this is my brother or sister. This is somebody who's connected to me. This is somebody that deserves mercy. Actually, whether they deserve it or not, is somebody we should give mercy to. We should extend forgiveness. When we don't forgive, we hold on to pain. If somebody does something hurtful to me, let's just say somebody punches me in the nose, okay? If somebody punches me in the nose, at that point, I'm the victim, and they're the perpetrator, they're the aggressor, they're the bad guy, okay? And how long do I remain the victim to the person that just punched me in the nose? Well, the principle is, I remain the victim until I forgive that person. In other words, until I stop condemning their behavior. Now, I can still judge that behavior was not good, and they might not be a safe person for me to be around. But why did that person punch me in the nose? What lens was that person seeing things through in the moment that they punched me in the nose? And I can't judge that. There's a phrase that you may have heard that's fairly common that says it's hurting people that hurt people. People who are happy and feeling good and joyful typically treat others with respect. I had a scenario once where it was an altercation over a parking spot, and a person got really irate with me for parking in a certain place, and I won't go into all the details. I'll just leave it at that. And there was some profanity and some yelling that I had parked where I had parked, and I left that scenario feeling like punching that guy in the nose, okay? It's like, what a jerk. I cannot believe this happened. But I decided to let it go. Why was he upset at me for taking that parking spot? Well, it wasn't because I took the parking spot. Before he ever crossed paths with me, do you think he was happy, feeling great, life's wonderful, I'm having the best day ever, and then he explodes over a parking spot? No. Something else happened before he crossed paths with me. I don't know what, but he was already upset. He was already hurting. He was already angry. He was already frustrated because of, I don't know what his story was. I have no idea what the bad news or the stressful thing happened that set him off. And then he crossed paths with me, and for some reason this little parking spot became all important. But of course it wasn't. And so as I drove away from that scenario, I extended forgiveness. I said, God bless that man. I have no idea what the source of his pain is, but it wasn't the parking lot, the parking spot. I was not the source of his pain. At that moment, he was blaming all his pain on me and taking it all out on me. Whatever it was, he took it out on me. I said, God bless him. I hope he gets the healing that he needs. I have no idea what pain he's wrestling with in his life. And so when we extend forgiveness, we're letting go of judging, condemning judgment, and that liberates us from being the victim of the perpetrator. We're no longer bound to the pain they put into our life. There's another metaphor I like to use. If somebody does something hurtful, I sometimes liken that to somebody putting a rock in your shoe. And this is a super simple example, but I think it's a correct principle. If somebody puts a rock in your shoe, that's painful when you wear your shoes. You walk around with a rock in your shoe, nobody likes that. Well, how long does the rock stay in the shoe? The person that put the rock in the shoe won't take the rock out of the shoe, or they don't know how. It's up to us to take the rock out of the shoe. And we get to decide how long the rock stays in the shoe. Sometimes we need some help. Sometimes they say, give your shoe to Christ and let him take the rock out. Sometimes we don't know how to take the rock out of our shoe. Sometimes we need a little divine intervention in our lives simply to forgive somebody else, to have that change of heart. So we let go of condemning others. We let go of bitterness. We let go of resentment. We let go of blame and shame. Sometimes we need some mercy ourselves, simply to have our heart softened and extend forgiveness. And when we do, our heart heals. We heal. Healing happens when we forgive. Now, that doesn't mean we've lost discernment, okay? What should our relationship be with this person? Is this person trustworthy or not? That's another question. But in our heart, we let go of condemnation. And when we do, we are blessed. When we bless another, we bless ourselves. So just be aware of how you judge. And we've all done it, okay? We do it, just instinctively without even being aware that we're doing it. We judge others as good or bad, righteous or unrighteous, or poor or rich, or however we want to label them. Let go of judging. Remember, everybody is a child of God. Everybody is a brother or sister. We're all interconnected. And as we let go of judging and we see each other through the lens of love rather than through the lens of objectification, then we're happier. And it's more likely that we'll have happy interaction with other people, and we're less likely to be triggered. And we can, in a small way, in our own little circle of influence, make the world a better place and have greater peace in our lives. I hope this has been helpful for you. God bless you.